everybody, Lori here from Unique in the Creek. An unscheduled live. I'm going to be doing a daisy. I've already started it and I figured I might as well show you guys what I'm doing. It's on the small board and I'm doing the very large daisy petal, and I'm doing it almost the same as Isabel from Sparkles in the ATL did, but I'm using deco mesh because I'm not a big fan of poly burlap, and I find it very expensive, and I like deco mesh. I like the shine of deco mesh, so it's just my preference. So because it is a little more see-through, hi everybody coming on, hi, not on unscheduled live, just to fill in some time. I know we've had a ton of lives going on today, but we are in crunch time next weekend. We are leaving for Crafters Convention on Sunday. We have a few meetings on the way, so we are leaving early. So I have a ton of stuff to do this week coming. This is not my start of the 5 days of lives for the giveaways. This is just me. I started a daisy that I wanted to show at Crafters Convention. So as you can see, I've already started it, and then as I was doing it, I'm like, crap, I should have went live to show you guys how I did it. And I'm doing it somewhat the same way as Isabel from Sparkles in the ATL did, but just a little bit different. I never spray paint my boards, so because I just find it too much time and it's rainy all the time. So to fill in, if I could, so I couldn't see the gray of the board, I just put some of these petals on row, and I'm using the small board. So I just put one petal just around here, and where I'm securing the big large daisy petals is row 4, I think. I never used the small board, so I don't even know the numbers. But anyways, I'm using this row right here. So it's 1, 2, 3. Row 3. Yeah, so I wanted to do a flower on the small board, and I really love this daisy petal. And I've not really done it. Well, I did it more of a like a lolly petal, but I have this pom-pom center that I had made a while ago when I was showing people how to do centers. So it's been sitting on my table forever, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a quick daisy. I got these cute little flowers with a bling in it, so I am actually going to put that, I'm going to cut the stem and I'm going to glue it kind of in the center here. But I wanted to show you guys how I was making these big petals with deco mesh. This is 21-inch roll of deco mesh. Yeah, Sparkles in the ATL did one with poly burlap. I'm going to do one almost the same. It's just a little bit different. Just a little bit of a different twist than she has, but it's the same technique pretty much. So I've got my 21-inch, and what I've done is I put 2 clothespins on the end of my cutting mat here. So I'm just going to pin or clothespin the end of the cutting of there we go. All right, and then I'm going to roll this out. Okay, and you can do this with any color. Like if you have a ton of 21-inch deco mesh, you could do this with any color. It's really fun little flower. Although, even though it's a small board, it becomes quite the large flower. So it's not really that small. I'm going to bring this and now I just clothespin it to the end of my mat, just so this clothespin's not very good. Just so it doesn't move. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to double this. Now, as you can see, white is one of the worst colors to use for coverage, but I want a white daisy. And this is just a normal, actually it's a matte foil, so it's not really shiny, but like sparkly, but it does have a little bit of shine to it.
Sounds like it's by me.
What?
Matte foil.
Matte foil. All right, so what I've done is I am going to be folding this at 20.5 inches. So I've taken my clothespin and I'm clipping it at 20.5 inches on my mat, and I'm going to fold it over. All right. Now this is where you want lots of clothespins handy, which I always have, my handy dandy steel ones. Okay. And I am going to line these up, the seams, and I'm just going to kind of fold the edge up the 20.5 mat. Now this really works really well if you have a large mat. If you have a smaller mat, it's kind of hard. So once you've folded it, okay, now I'm going to take this one off so it goes over. There we go. So I have a fold here. I'm going to take my weight, Lolly's bookends, but I use them for weights. Just making a crease. This is kind of heavy, so I'm making a fold. And now what I'm going to do is roll this down, making sure the seams are meeting at the bottom, because we're going to have kind of one uniform piece. And if you're using poly burlap 21 inch, you don't have to do this, but it's really expensive, 21 inch poly burlap, and I really don't like it, so to each his own. So I folded it in half, and now I'm going to take my electric scissors, and I'm just going to go straight up. Okay, and cut it off the roll. I am now going to clothespin the two pieces together, and then these two pieces together. Okay, there we go. We have, still on the mat, we have one uniform piece of 21 inch mesh, doubled, because I don't want it see-through, I don't want to see the board, and I want a nice big petal. Okay, so we got 21 by 21. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it in a diamond, and this is where it's similar to Isabel's. I'm going to take my corner and I'm going to bring this down. Okay, take that clothespin off, and then I'll clothespin all four of these pieces together, just like that. All right, and that's our fold, like most folds that we do for the flowers, except now it's just ginormous size, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make an imaginary line going right up the center and just kind of pinch the center just like that, and I'm going to put a clothespin. All right, so again, like Isabel did. Now she does a twist and all that stuff. I don't know if that's because she uses the poly burlap or what, but I found just coming down. So what you're doing is you're taking this corner right here and you're just kind of folding it in. Now she does some kind of twist thing. I don't know if it's just the flick of her hand or whatever, but I'm just going to fold this in and bring it to the corner. Okay, I'm going to take my clothespin, pin it. All right, I'm going to take this one, do the exact same thing. Now this one's a little bit more tricky because it's got the open ends here of where we've cut, but that's okay because we're not going to see that. You're just going to take this corner, kind of fold it in just like you did the other one, and bring it down to meet the middle again. So this is what you got. Okay, alrighty, so now I want to take that. Now I'm going to take two of the little elastics just in case my I'm using two because one, I just found one was breaking because it's quite thick down here. I'm just going to put two elastics together and just wrap it like that, just in case the clothespin comes off. And there we go. Now I don't have to worry about the clothespin. I'm going to flip this over, and again, like Isabel did, we're gonna fold these corners in, okay? Got your hot glue. So I got my glue gun on. So what you want to do is, what I've done for the other ones I did, is I've just taken this corner, and now they're both open, okay? String hanging here.
What is that mesh you're working?
It's just 21-inch deco mesh. Normal, everyday deco mesh. Okay, we're gonna be folding this corner in. Make sure you have a clothespin handy, actually two. I like to use two on this part. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna glue these two corners together like that, okay? So I'm just gonna put, now be careful you don't glue your, burn yourself here. That's why you have your clothespin. So I put a good amount of glue there, squeeze this in, and then you're gonna put the one corner over top of the other corner, and then you're gonna put your clothespin to hold the to hold this together while the glue is drying. Okay, just like that. All right. Now you can start working on the front, even though you're waiting for your back to dry. Now you got this big, you can leave it like this if you'd like, because it does look like a petal, right? Or it looks like something else, but it, it does look like a petal. I liked mine having like a kind of a double fold up the center. And like I said, you can leave it just like this and stick it in your board. I was going for just a bit of a different look. So I went and in the center of this, I don't know what this, the middle of the petal, I just kind of divoted, there we go. Oh, and I put glue there. Uh-oh. I went too far down with the glue. And then I'm going to clothespin this. And let the glue dry. Alrighty. Now, like I said, you can leave the center just normal like it was, or you can, I liked it kind of double folded. Just gives it more, I don't know, more of a petal look. This one didn't, kind of went wonky, but that's okay. So that's what your petal looks like. So we need 8 of these. I've already done 4, so this is number 5. I'm not gluing up here, but I am going to take my clothespin and just pinch it, so when I do release this, it will still have a bit of a seam up the middle there. Okay, I'll probably take one of these off, since I'm probably going to need one of those clothespins, and I'm going to set this aside. So I'm going to start this all over again. Again, I'm going to roll out my 21-inch and clip it to my mat. Okay, roll it out. Okay, just kind of straighten your thing out. Find that 20.5. There we go. Then you can fold this over until it hits your, and roll it out. And you want to fold it over until it hits your clothespin. And then we're going to make sure the edges here are the same. And I just kind of line up that line. Okay, I'm going to use this clothespin and clothespin that one. Take my weight again. And this is just, I just use something heavy just to flatten it down so it makes it kind of a seam or crease. And let's put this one together. So we have these 2 together. All right, now we're going to cut this off. And if you let go, it folds up. Okay, line the seams up again, down at the bottom. Alright, so that everything is all squared and lined up. Again, we're going to turn it, oops, still attached to my mat. Turn it into a diamond. Now to do it this way, you do probably need about 21 inch, or probably a whole roll of 21 inch mesh. So I have, might have a little bit left. Alright, so let's fold this down. My steel one. Hands hurt tonight. Too much typing. Too much computer work. I'm getting the finger when you're scrolling constantly. I'm working on the paper print that we're going to be offering soon. Okay, so you just kind of stretch this up, make your sort of your imaginary line, pinch it in the center, just like so. I'm going to take this, you're going to bring it around it, and then bring it right down to the corner. Alright, and then on the other corner, folding it in and around. So making one of these huge, almost like the other daisy petal or the Gerbera petal, but it's large size, right? Okay, now I'm going to get the 2 elastics again. Now if you don't want to use elastics or you don't have any, just as long as you have your clothespin there to keep it pinched down. I just find putting the elastic there and then moving my clothespin just helps me when I flip this over. So if I had my clothespin there, it would be like stuck up there like that. Okay. You just want to make sure everything's still all lined up together, like one piece. There we go. Okay, so you're going to fold this corner about just a little over. You can tell where the center is because that's where my crevasse is here. Crevasse. I'm going to put a little bit of, get your clothespins ready again. Put some hot glue. Fold it over. Now again, make sure you don't touch the hot glue. So that's why I use the clothespins to kind of clamp it shut till it dries. Okay, so now, like I said, you can leave your petal just like that with the thing up the center. And it pretty much just does its own rounded, almost like the, well, it's just a huge wally petal, really. Let me get this up. I like that little double thing in the middle. I don't know, my first petal I did this double thing, and then the rest did the single one. I'm like, I kind of like the double one. It's just a little trickier to do because you want to make sure it's in the center. There we go, I think. Maybe if I hold this. There, that's a little bit better. The elastic is stretching as I'm pulling on it. There we go. So I'm just going to get a little bit of hot glue in there. Close it and put a clothespin. There we go. Okay, Okay, so we got 4, 5, 6. We need 2 more. Two more. So you could probably cut your mesh. I just found it easier to do my mesh and make the petal and then do my mesh again. So there, I left that clothespin on for what, maybe 5 minutes, and it kind of trained that deco mesh to make that little double center there. And then this one's pretty dry, and that's on there really well. So there you go. Pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay, so I need 2 more of these. 2 more. Okay, here we go again. I'm running out of my clothespins, or losing them. You know, I used to have a whole bucket of clothespins, and who the heck knows what happened to them. Okay, and to do this, like I said, clipping it to your mat really does help freeze up your hands. And that's why I said clothespins are like my second hands. I just gotta find more of them now. Oh, this one doesn't need 2 anymore. Just put 1 on there so it dries. Okay, so I'm gonna put this. All right. Follow this line again. So if you kind of roll it out and just tuck it behind the clothespins that are holding your clip to your mat, you want to make sure though that the seam at the bottom and the seam at the top are matching. That way your piece still looks like one uniform piece. This one doesn't want to cooperate. Sorry guys, tonight's just a teaching. I'm not, I wasn't even going to go live. I was just going to make it. And, because I know Isabel's already done it, but she used poly burlap. So I thought you guys would like to maybe see how you can do this with just deco mesh. Alright, so we are going to have enough for the whole flower. Yay, I wasn't sure. Okay, instead of, I'm going to clip this right at the corner so it doesn't fly up this time. It stays in place. There we go. Okay, I like to make sure there's a nice crease there so it looks like one piece. So like I said, you can do any kind of color with this. Doesn't have to be white, but I do really like the daisy looking like this. I think Isabel used a flat, some kind of ball center or something. I'm just using a simple flat. It's just a flat piece of styrofoam. I actually, oh, this one's coming off. I actually made this on a how-to doing centers, and it's just 1 inch pom-poms, kind of like the brown one I taught you guys. I believe this is 5.5 inches. This foam is 6 inches, and it's just flat. And I did paint it yellow, so if there was any gaps in between the pom-poms, you wouldn't see white coming through. So, and I just, started on the outside, so I did the side, and then when it just kept going around, and I think it only took a bag of 1 inch yellow pom-poms. So, and then I had this really cool funky flower. I'm going to cut this stem off, but I'm going to glue it in the center just to give it a little bit of something, something. Anyways, let's finish this petal. So again, you're going to bring this right down to the corner. Clothespin it. And make sure your edges line up. Now, if you have a heavy foiled mesh, like wide foiled, and it's even the deluxe, you will not have to use 2 pieces like I'm doing. But white, no matter really what mesh it is, white is always, I find, quite see-through. So if you stretch, if you put your finger on the corner here and you just kind of stretch up, you can see where the middle is. Where the middle is. So I just kind of flatten it a bit and then scrunch it like that. I'm running out of clothespins. What the heck? I guess these guys are done. There, more clothespins. Okay, here we go again. Does there anybody have any questions, hon?
No.
Huh?
No.
Probably going too fast. Like I said, I wasn't even going to do a live. So if you do have any questions, Dave is reading questions. Somewhat. How many people are on? I can't even see. I have the Mevo running from my phone, so I am not even looking at comments. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, hey everybody. This was not a planned live. I'm on crunch because I want a bunch of stuff done for Crafters Convention. And I know my live, 5 days of lives is not starting till tomorrow, but this is a flower I wanted to get done. And it has already been done by Isabel from Sparkles in the ATL. She did it on with 21-inch poly burlap. I'm doing it with just plain old Jane Deco mesh. So if you had to ask my favorite, I think my favorite mesh is fabric mesh, followed up by poly jute, followed up by wide foil, not deluxe foil, wide foiled Deco mesh, and then right at the bottom is poly burlap. This is 21-inch Deco mesh. 21-inch. Well, it's 20 and a half, but by the time I do that extra space, because I clip it right at the end of the board, that's why I measure at 20.5, because it's got that little space there. So we just want to make sure all our pieces are together. There we go. Okay, so we're going to fold this over. Have your clothespins ready. Actually, last time I didn't make sure the side was. I just want to make sure all the mesh is together. And like I said, it's really pretty on any other color flower too. I have done it in a bright pink, and I think you guys have seen that one before. I had it on my door. It's so cute, but for Crafters Convention, I wanted a daisy. Now I have. Oh, somebody's running. Which child is home? Bubba, as he burps and belches as he comes in. Where'd you guys go?
Went to the mall, went around.
Went to the mall. Did you eat?
Yeah, I had Arby's.
Arby's?
Yeah. Curly fries.
Curly fries. I am making a big petaled daisy on the small board. So I already have a sunflower to bring to the convention. So I wanted to do a daisy. What I wanted to do, I should have just left them all at the one center. I don't know what I was thinking. I wanted to do a nice big flower on the small board. And everybody loves a daisy. I think that besides sunflower and roses, I think daisy's next. So Okay, so I'm just kind of making a crease. Again, you don't have to do this if you want, just, you can leave the straight. I did it on my first petal and I kind of committed myself. I liked it. I still like it. It's just a pain in the tortoise, to do. Oh, I forgot to pinch the one all the way up too. So I put a little bit of glue down here just to keep that shut, closed. But I am going to, but I'm running out of clothespins. So I didn't put any glue up here, but if you keep it pinched closed for a bit, it will stay like that. Nice thing about deco mesh, it does, especially good deco mesh. If you're using thin deco mesh, I don't even know if I could help you. You're gonna probably have to quadruple it to make to get coverage. All right, we have one more petal, and then we can put this sucker together. I have enough clothespins. See, I told you, honey, I'd get this done in less than an hour. We were ready to go to bed, and when I have something in my mind, I have to get it. Ooh, this could be touch and go. We're getting pretty close. And when I have something in my mind, I have to do it. And we were just getting ready for bed, and thought, you know what? I gotta finish it. So, as he's shutting the lights off, I'm like, don't shut it off, we're going live. He's like, what? We were going to bed. And he did get into the trailer for those who were watching yesterday. They were all worried about you, honey, because you couldn't get in the trailer.
I had ice cream in the back.
And you had ice cream in the back melting. Lolly, I'm running out of clothespins, love. There's one.
Mommy, I'm broken.
You're broken. Let's cross our fingers we have enough to finish this. I think we might have, oh my God, right to the end, like literally. Now this didn't have plastic on it when I went downstairs to get it, so I'm not sure if I used a piece already or not, or if I just opened it. So definitely, even though there's only 8 petals, if you're folding them, now if you're not folding them and you're using like a heavy foiled mesh, then you could probably, you're easy maybe half a roll.
I'm not feeling good right now.
What's the matter, Law?
What?
What's the matter? Your feet still hurt?
Yeah.
Lolly came home from camp. Her feet were a mess. She was just a mess. I need a clothespin. She had the best time ever. She went to camp in Muskoka, and it was actually where they filmed Camp Rock with her school. So they got to watch the Raptors game in the food hall, and I guess it was just, she said it was the best time she's ever had in her whole life.
The Thursday?
Even better than our cruise and everything? Really? Better than Disney? Get out. Oh, wait till I tell Aunt Jackie.
Well, I don't know.
How can Muskoka be better than Disney? Because you were with your friends. Right? Why then?
I don't know. It was just good vibes.
Good vibes? And you went ziplining and you didn't die,
No.
which is a good thing. You came home in one piece.
Should I tell my almost death story?
No, you're not almost. It wasn't almost death, honey.
So basically, we had to climb up this.
And she's got no voice from screaming at the Raptors game.
So basically, we had to climb up this rope ladder to go ziplining, and I was like harnessed in, so I was gonna be fine, but my foot got tangled, and then I thought I was at the top, and my foot was like still in there, so I was kind of hanging there by my foot, and then I fell.
And that's why they strap you in the harness.
Yeah.
For that, just that reason.
'Cause you had
Klutzy girls like you.
Yeah. You have to like pull yourself up, and it was 20 feet up in the air.
Were you scared, Law?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I would have had heart
Because
failure.
if that harness snapped and sis, I was done.
Sis, you were done. Sister Kitty Girl.
I would have seen.
Okay, of course this last piece is going to give me a problem because it just wants to curl and curl and curl upon itself.
So that
Look
was
at
my near-death experience.
Your near death. Wow.
But it was the most exciting thing I did.
Was the most exciting because you did it, because you weren't going to do it.
No, I was going to do it.
Well, how was rock climbing?
I only got.
Did you get like a quarter of the way up? Good girl. I wouldn't even got that
I
far.
got to the K of Muskoka.
The K of Muskoka. Hey, that's not bad. Did you see any of the Jonas Brothers? What Jonas Brother was in Camp Rock?
All of them.
All Jonas Brothers were in Camp Rock?
Yeah, Nick, Kevin, and Joe.
Oh, I did not know that.
Nick is my favorite one. We went by the
See, I used to think Joe was the cutest, but now
No, Nick is.
they're older. Nick is.
Nick is always the cutest.
Is that think so? I always thought Joe was.
Joe is always the star.
Yeah, he was always the front singer, and I always thought he was the cutest, maybe because he was always in front of the camera. What am I talking about? These are like kids. Well, they were kids at the time.
Ow.
Oh, you're home too.
Yeah?
When did you come home? Same time as Mitchell?
No, a while ago.
I didn't even hear you come in.
I said hi. I talked to Dave.
Oh. You said hi to me?
No, I didn't see you.
Oh,
I asked
oh.
Dave where you were.
Oh,
I
okay.
went to the bathroom. I didn't know.
She went to her bowling banquet. Sorry, all the kids are just coming in now. Street light must be on. No, just kidding. You guys wouldn't even know what that is.
Yeah.
The street lights, so that's when we had to
Yeah.
come home.
But then we have
Every
to go
kid in the
too.
neighborhood had their parents on the porch when the street lights came on, screaming. My mom would be, Lord, John, Jay, time to come in.
I can erase
And of course, we are
all
always in the middle of a hide and seek game at dusk. That was the best.
I can testify to that because I did one in Muskoka.
You did hide and seek in the school. There's bears.
No, I did over this.
There is bears, Wally.
I even asked them.
There is bears. I don't
No.
care what they say. There is bears there.
Yeah, I know, but not in that part.
Why? There's a bear.
They wouldn't let us go into the random woods if there was like bears in it.
Completely give up on the life rule.
I'm just having a conversation. Like I said, I wasn't even planning this, so this is a bonus.
I'm making
I'm talking with Lolly.
Like some of my ice cream.
That would be your brother.
Aw.
Sorry, guys. It's just me in my dining room. Thought I'd show you guys a flower I was working on. Kids are coming in from being out. And it is what it is. It is what it is. Did I last this? Okay. I think your brother ate it because I remember him saying, do you think Kristen would know if I ate this?
You owe me ice cream.
I'm unalive. You don't have to. Fine. Yes, my oldest one has moved home. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here because this is the very end piece and it just wants to keep curling. I'm going to show them who's boss.
Anyways, I miss Muskoka a lot and I want to go back.
You just got back.
I know, I want to go back.
I told you I would send you to camp there for the whole summer.
Or kickball.
You could write letters home.
No, I wouldn't come home with a stick.
Or a kickball game, and of course the game was tied. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Or Red Rover, please send Lolly over.
No,
And the whole street played.
I don't feel like that.
Like, this is when a time when, like, kids went outside and played. I know you wouldn't really know that.
I was like 3 when we went outside.
I know. Nobody goes outside to play anymore.
Hey, I didn't miss Muskoka. One of my fondest memories that I'll ever share for the rest of my life is that trip.
That trip.
Yeah, especially playing capture the flag in pouring rain.
What's capture the flag? Like football or something?
No,
So I'm going to let this go and see how it makes that crease.
you like hide like something around the area, and then
Alright.
like the other team tries to go find it.
Okay, I missed a couple of comments, so thank you to everybody that said early Father's Day.
Oh, yeah, tomorrow's Father's Day. Remind me to call my dad. Maybe I should go down there. Today's my mom's birthday. Everybody, today's my mom's birthday. If you didn't know that, happy birthday, Mom. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Momare.
I don't think she's on anymore.
I know. She'll watch the replay.
Show Mom.
Happy birthday to you.
I made my dad a bracelet.
Alright, we're going to put this sucker together and then I'm going to bed. Alright, look at these big, huge petals. They're pretty cool, eh? I'm making a big old daisy, la. A daisy. Okay, so I don't spray paint my boards. And I wasn't sure because of this mesh if it was going to show through. So I just added, I had some 10-inch mesh just hanging around here. So I made it petals to go underneath these so it would cover the board. You wouldn't need to do that if you're not using white. If you're using white, you may want to spray paint the board. I don't know. White is really hard to cover. So I found I put 8, just these petals on row 2. Okay. And they're going to be in behind these big, huge petals. And it's just more or less to cover the board so you don't see any of the gray. But this row right here is where we're going to be attaching these big, huge petals.
You have to put it under the camera.
Sorry.
It's hard to see.
Okay. So this row right here is where we're putting the big, huge petals, and it's 1, 2, row 3. Row 2 is where I just added these petals just to cover some of the board. And so what you're going to do is you're going to preload your zip ties into that row that we're going to put these petals in. So you just go down 1 hole and up the corresponding hole, and you're going to zip this one up. So we're just going to be sticking the tails of these ginormous things in. And I already glued one together, so I glue the little corner here just so these all attach, but I haven't done these ones yet. Sorry, still got that trigger finger from my mouse scrolling. All right, so we got our zip ties in. So this is really the only row we're going to be using, unless you're using white like me. Oh, unless you're using white like me and you don't want to see the board and you don't feel like painting the board, I put some white mesh. I use snowball mesh only because it was up here. So you don't have to use snowball mesh. So we have the little elastics on the bottom. We're going to slip this in. Now make sure it goes straight, because we've got to squish all these petals in. So you're going to put it in, and how I was putting it in is when this tail pretty much hit the other side of the hole here, so directly here, and you can kind of guess to see if it's the same size as the other ones. Now what you're going to want to do is now you're going to push where this zip tie is going to go. You're going to push this down flat with your thumb, just like that, okay? Now if you try and do your zip tie when it's just up like this, you're not going to get that really rounded edge that that you're going to want to get. But if you push it down towards the board, so it's flatter, it kind of gives, you can see that gives that center a different look, and tighten it up. Now I am definitely using my razor. Okay, and tighten it pretty good because you don't want that petal moving, and snip that off. Now you can trim this little piece of tail if you want. Okay, so we're going to do the same for the next one. So all our, you want to make sure it's glued. Now, like I said, I use Gorilla Glue, so I know it's going to be good. So we'll get these all in, and then we'll situate them all once they're in.
I'm sorry, I forgot. What was it, 20 and a half inches or 20?
It's 21 by 21.
Okay.
So you're making a square. So, but I folded it over because I'm using white mesh. If you're using like a poly burlap, which is a lot thicker, you don't have to do that. Or if you're using a very heavy foiled mesh, you don't have to do that. But white pretty much shows through. And like I said, you can spray paint the board. I've never really spray painted. I don't think I've ever spray painted the board. Isabel spray paints all the boards. She's extra. I'm too lazy. It takes too much time waiting for it to dry. I'd rather throw a couple pieces of mesh in there and you can't see it. Okay.
What time are you starting your lives in this morning?
8.
Are they all started at 8?
Yipper. Okay, let's take all our pins off. Okay, again. So putting this together is quite easy. It's just making the petal. And even though there's only 8 petals, it does take a little bit. You guys see. So I'm just kind of measuring up against and eyeballing. Now you could try this on a small wireframe too if you wanted. The only thing, and I'm just going to say, the only thing with a wireframe is you don't have the backing to support the big petals, so eventually your petals will flop over. So just an FYI. I know people have done them, and I've done one long time ago, and they kept flopping over, like this, it's spinning over. There's probably a better technique now with the wire one, but this works just fine for me.
Really?
What?
I never thought of that.
What?
Michelle can't keep up with comments, so she's making a wreath herself, and Jan says, you aren't doing a live for all of us to see?
Who said, which Michelle?
Michelle, get on that.
Because she doesn't do lives yet.
She should.
I know she should. She's got mad skills. Mad skills. She will. One day she'll get the nerve. I know it. Okay, last one. And I'm just going to push this down. Isn't this cute? Look how big it is. Alright. Woohoo! Now I'm not going to worry about these tails, and I actually like the tails there because we're going to situate this right on the center. But first, I'm going to have an eyeball and make sure all the petals, before I commit and glue and everything else, make sure all the petals are pretty much the same size, which looks pretty good to me. What do you think, guys? Looks pretty good? It's kind of cute, eh? Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, I did this one already, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue between these two and join them. So you can't see any of this, even though there's still a white petal there. If I join them, you still can't see the board, and that's exactly what I wanted. My glue sticks.
What are the petals in the back supposed to do?
The only reason I put those petals in the back is to cover any gray of the board that you may see. You can spray paint. Now, you won't only do this with white mesh because white mesh is very see-through. I didn't feel like spray painting a board, so I put just a petal back there and it worked. So I didn't have to spray paint. and you don't see. So I didn't have to do that with the pink mesh I did this flower on, because you couldn't see through it. So I'm just putting a little bit of glue. And then you get your clothespins, your extra fingers, extra hands. I'm so scared of gluing my fingers. Because if you've glued your fingers once, you all know. You know, I so need a new glue gun, but this glue gun, I'm telling you, I bought so many different glue guns and I still keep coming back to this old one. I just love it. And it's a fine tipped one. It's very, very fine. Look at it. This has got to be at least 3 years old, no word of a lie. And it's made by Bonder, and it's got a very fine tip. And I bought so many glue guns. I bought cordless, I bought industrial, I bought the Gorilla Glue gun. And I still keep coming back to this one. Kind of like Dave, it's Old Faithful.
Where did you get that mesh?
I got this at Craig Bachman. It is for the Canadians, I believe. There's still some on my website. This is just, and you probably can get it anywhere because Deco Mesh, 21 Deco Mesh is not hard to find. Because everybody's using 10-inch, right? So if you do want to make one of these flowers, you should probably have plenty of 21-inch to choose from. And like I said, it doesn't have to be white. I'm just doing a daisy. I did a really bright pink one with a yellow center, and I put a pot on it, and you guys have probably seen it before, and it's really cool. I just wanted to do a daisy for the Crafters Convention.
This is her first time to come to live. She's ordered 6 boards.
All right.
Can't wait for them to come so she can try making some flowers.
Well, congratulations on your purchase and welcome to Unique in the Creek. There is lots and lots of creatives, and I am not the only one that does lives, so we actually should make a list, or there might be a list in Unique Wreath Creators of everybody that does lives, because there's so many people doing lives and different stuff right now that I don't even do, and I get messages all the time. And I always have to refer them to whoever's page did that live.
Yes, you can watch this from the beginning later.
Oh yeah. It's always, our videos are always available for replay.
And with fabric mesh work on this flower.
Yes, 21-inch fabric mesh would be awesome. You wouldn't have to double it. You would not have to. You'll have nice, I love fabric mesh. I don't have any 21-inch fabric mesh, else I would have used it. So I think this one is good. Yep. All right, last one to glue, and then we'll do the center. And like I said, the center I made it a while ago. It's been sitting on my table, and that's what gave me the idea of, oh, I'm going to do a daisy for Crafters Convention. I already knew I had this roll of 21. I have tons of 21-inch. I should make more of these flowers because I really don't use 21-inch a lot. I am so sick of the rain and the cold, and it's just unreal. Okay, I'm just going to let that sit for a sec. And this, again, if you just joined us, this is a 6-inch, just a flat piece of foam, the floral foam. I took a bag of 1-inch pom-poms from Hobby Lobby. You get them for you can get them for half price at 99 cents. They're usually $1.99. And I painted it yellow, just with craft paint. So you just dab it on with craft paint, just normal craft paint you get from the dollar store, like this stuff, right? Yellow. Use just a sponge or anything, and just dab it on, because it does have these holes, like porous. And if you try and brush it on, You'll be there forever. Just pounce it on. You're not really going to see it. The only reason I did it is because if you do, there is some little spaces and you didn't want the white showing through, but you can't see it when it's yellow or whatever color your center is going to be. Okay? And then I just went around the outside and then I just kept going in a circle. Just hot gluing pom-poms on. But I got this really cute little flower and I'm all about the bling. Everybody knows that. So I'm going to actually, I'm going to glue this in the center, but this is sticking up, but I'm not sure if I can. It's so light. You know what? I'm just going to, should I just cut it off, or maybe I'll just get my tweezers and poke a hole. I have something thin. My hands are so sore. Let's see if that worked. Oh, there it is. Ah, it just keeps bending. I'm just going to cut this little knob off. Is it rain?
Yep.
Raining again. Jeez. Okay, so I'm just going to take my hot glue. I'm just going to put a little bit in there, in the hole, just to make sure this all stays together. One on one side. I just won't want the flower to fall apart. And then I'm just gonna.
How did you make that? It's just little.
This is just a little flower I bought.
Not that the center thing.
It's just
little.
Yeah, I do have a tutorial on how I made it. It is just styrofoam, flat styrofoam piece. This one is not from the dollar store. The ones at the Dollar Tree that you can get a 2-pack for $1. They're a little bit smaller than this one, and I wanted a bigger center. I can't remember where I got this from. One of the craft stores, and I think it's 6 inches. Yeah, it's a 6-inch, just flat disc. It's not round, or it's not curved or anything. And I just hot glued. I painted it first, and then I with just craft paint, and then I hot glued pom-poms on it, and now I'm just sticking this little center flower thing because it's just really pretty. It's got, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's got little tiny white dots on it. I believe I got this at Kellyan Crafts. They were like 3 for $1 or something. So I ordered some ribbons from them. And I just got them to throw in these little flowers. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with them, but I just liked them. So I have 3 of them. So now I have 2 of them. Okay. These are probably dry. Take all my clips off. Okay, now I need... Oh, honey, did you bring all your, what are they called? You know, the whole paper clips. Did you bring them all downstairs?
No.
I need 2 paper clips. If you wouldn't mind.
You don't have any there.
No. I may, but I gotta clean this up tomorrow. Now, you can add a little bit of glue up here. I might just do that. Not squish them, but just so they'll... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna... Just so they'll all stay. I know a flower's not supposed to be perfect, but...
Okay, enter.
Oh, honey, I didn't mean if you to go downstairs. I thought if you had some up here.
No, I think we're all out of them up there.
Oh, okay.
I've got some downstairs.
Can you get me 2 of the same color?
Oh, now you're fussy.
I know. There. If you know, if your mesh is not gonna do what it's told, you just show it who's boss. A little hot glue, and nobody can tell the difference. Oh shoot, my dog is gonna go freaky because I just heard thunder. My big dog, she goes absolutely ballistic with rain and thunder. she wants to hide, and she'll try and climb under my bedside tables. And she goes under the table. She's 120 pounds. She goes under my bedside table and lifts the table right off the floor, but she still thinks she's hiding. You know, that nasty rain is not going to get her. Of course.
Yeah, big ones, though. They're
Chris,
big
Gaia,
ones.
that's fine. Perfect. So you don't have to do this. Like I said again, I'm just hot gluing the petals so they stay where I want them to stay. Probably if I clipped them, let's see. I just don't want to smush them. But I'm almost at my hour. I told David, well, I said less than an hour. Again, I get talking. There we go. Oh, missed one. So you definitely want to use a good glue, because if you use a crappy glue, like say something from the dollar store or something, sometimes that glue will turn an actual yellow, which wouldn't matter if you're using a different color mesh, but on a white mesh, you don't want to see wet yellow goops on there. Okay, look. Oh, this is going to be so pretty. Sorry, my Oprah voice.
Yeah, don't go for it.
Sorry. Dave hates Oprah voice. So, you know what? I'm going to put a whole bunch of glue on there. Now again, my fave, Gorilla Glue. I'm going to put that on, and then I'm going to show a trick that I learned from another crafter, from Tammy Hodges, where she used, and I never have U pins, or the floral pins they're called, but if you have paper clips, they work just as well. So you kind of just open your paper clip up, and you only need two. Where'd the other one go? See, now I can sleep tight, honey, because I lost the other one. You went and got it for me and I lost it. Because I'm a freak. Oh well. So I'll show you what I was going to do with the clothespin, the paper clip. So you want to get a good amount of glue. That's why I left the tails there, because glue and deco mesh and foam, they love each other. So they stick very well together. Again, you want to use a really good glue. You don't want the center to come off. Alright, you're going to stick this on. So pretty much center it, and you're going to push that down. Where's my weights? I'm going to squish my flour. Everything's sore today, this stupid rain. Like, this getting old really sucks.
I should be on the trailer enjoying my...
I'm sorry.
My Saturday night cigar.
It's pouring rain and freezing out.
It's not freezing.
It's cold. Did you put the air conditioner on?
I turned the furnace back on, and I guess the air was already on, so...
Why would you turn the furnace on?
No, because it hits the breaker. I just
Oh,
pressed it
okay.
to see if it would.
Alrighty, we're almost done.
Barbara
Stay with me. Stay with me.
Barbara Heritage says you do such beautiful work.
Oh, well, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, thank you. We don't want any... There we go. Clothespins, they're your best friends. I'm telling you. I used to watch Wreathers all the time, and it's like, how come nobody uses clothespins? I just couldn't believe it. Did they not discover it? This is the only wonky one that I should have just left them. See, this is the perfect one. This is the one I started with, and it made the perfect thing, the perfect double thing there. And I'm like, oh, that's really nice. And all the rest went wonky. So that's okay. Flour's not perfect. All right, that's on there. Not yet. I put a lot of glue. But I can flip this over. No, I can't. petals are too big. Let's just hold it a few more minutes. Are there any questions while I'm waiting for this to dry?
Nope.
No questions? No questions? Oh, look at this bee. Oh. Now, oh, sorry, I'm moving the Mevo. Just a second. Now, you guys probably remember, oh, it's under the Mevo. There we go. These little flower pots from Emily's, what's her name? Her thing, Wreath's Galore. This, I don't know where the stem went, but this would be really cute with the daisy. The stem. I gotta find the stem. This daisy's ginormous. It's ginormous, I said. There we go. I think we're good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paper clip. Now, if you have floral pins, like I said, much easier. And I was watching a live with Tammy Hodges do this, and I thought, oh, that's really cool. And I cut some of this off. It's a little long when you open it up. Especially since our Emily's Wreaths and Things Galore. Thank you. And I believe she's going to have some flower pots at convention. Well, I asked if she was. And I'm just going to, I'll have to find the other one. You're just going to push this right in to the foam. It's just another preventative so your center doesn't come off. Like I said, if you have floral pins, they work just like that. But where did my, I was going to put another one right here, and Dave brought me two and I can't find it. I will find it after. Alrighty, there we go. Oh, I forgot to put the hanging thing in. Okay, so this is the back. So we got nice and neat still. These are the hanging holes. They're like off-centered here. You just go in one hole, through the other hole. I use a zip tie just because they're always handy. You can use string or twine or whatever you want. And this is your hanger, and our center came off. That didn't work very well, did it? More glue.
Nope.
Did you just see that?
Yeah, it's the delay.
Center came off. I gotta hold it down because I put a lot of glue in there. And I guess my clothes, or I do need a couple of the, looks like my glue is drying before I could even get the center on there.
For everybody commenting on this, I would suggest you ask Amazon why they're coming work, because they leave us.
Why are they asking about the warpness? I already went through this.
I know.
I think they might be laying them or putting them on their side at Amazon. There's an easy way. You just flip it around and put something heavy on it. The next morning, it'll be flat. I'm not sure.
They leave our place flat. I can't say why they come from Amazon.
A lot of our boards do go down to the southern states, and same with Craft Outlet is in Louisiana. So if it's really hot in there and they have the boards like laying on their sides, I have no idea. I have to call them Monday, but
they go to different warehouses.
They go to different hubs.
Yeah, one hub might have, because somebody else just said they got some in their farm.
Yeah, we had this discussion in Unique Wreath Creators. And seriously, if you just flip it upside down, put something heavy on it, when you wake up in the morning, it'll be flat again. I don't know why. We've hit them with heat guns when we were testing them, because it doesn't get really, really hot up here. So the heat gun, we did it right in the center. It kind of warped, and we wanted to see if it did warp, how you could fix it. And you just flip it over. Say if your board is, well, this one's completely flat, but if it was like warped like this, if you put it over like this and put, say, another board on it and then a couple of something heavy, when you wake up in the morning, it'll be flat again. You can try and send them back to Amazon. I don't know if I'd go through the hassle because you can just flatten them anyway. So anyways, that is our flower. I'm going to leave that on for a bit so it can catch. And that's all I have for you. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you enjoyed. This is the small frame daisy, or you can make whatever flower you want. Just makes a big, ginormous, beautiful flower with 21-inch mesh. Alrighty then. So if you just joined and you want to see how this how you make this, you can just watch the replay. Right now I'm live. You can see the red button. If you don't see the red live button, you are watching the replay. Okay, guys. We will talk to you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock. I'm not sure what I'm starting on. I have quite a few wreaths I need to get done for Crafters Convention. I'm not sure which one I'm going to be doing tomorrow night, but you know, it'll be fabulous. All right, everybody. Good night. Have a great one. Bye.